Hello, hello, hello. Subtitles are working. Amazing. I know I always start off like going, does they work? I didn't say the F word. Thank you, subtitles, but never mind. Hello, everyone. My name is Fiona. I use she, her pronouns, and this is Too Long Didn't Read Tabletop RPGs, in which I will look at the bookshelf of Doom or the Google Drive of Mystery to look at an RPG that's caught my interest. I am a visual description. I am a white woman, sort of mid-length, blondie browny hair. It's getting longer and it's getting a little bit grayer, which is all good. I'm very happy for. And I'm wearing a little sort of, I call them a house coat, but it's like a little thin like sort of kimono style thing, which has got some really nice detail that you cannot see. I'm wearing my Artificers t-shirt because heck yeah, Artificers finally getting a look in D&D, eh? I don't know how good it is, so don't at me until I've read it. And I'm wearing, of course, my Lucy and Yak overalls. Hello, Hogan. Nice to see you here, my friend. Season's greetings and season greetings to you all. This is going to be our last TTRPG stream before Christmas. Then we'll be back in the middle bit between Christmas and New Year to help, because I won't be doing anything. Hello, Kieran. How are you doing? Well, season's greetings to you as well. Like I said, this is going to be the last one before Christmas, and then obviously Christmas will happen, and then it turns out in the US they don't get Boxing Day off, so I'll be back on Boxing Day with some more bits and pieces before the new year, and I've already set up my schedule of RPGs to look at in January, which I'm excited to get back to it. I've missed it. Yesterday I was like, oh, it's actually really good fun. I'd forgotten about how much I enjoy it, and yeah, like I said, like the reason why it's been so long is just because lots of things were happening in November and December. So now I'm back, of course, just in time for everyone to go away. This is the thing I find about December. I joke about it being a void. But the thing is, though, I know people just disappear into it. But I know they're not doing anything. They're sitting around, like, with family. Because no one... But I'm like, nah, don't be silly. Go out. Have fun. So, all different things. I hope all of you have wonderful festive plans, whether you celebrate or not. And at least have some time to rest and maybe read an RPG or two. That'll be wonderful. Let's get straight on it, shall we? Today, friends, we're going to look at a RPG that has caught my interest called Arc, A-R-C. Not Arc Doom, as I thought it was called yesterday. Arc, the Doom RPG. That's where I got a little bit mixed up. This is a game by someone called Momentos, and what caught my eye about it was that it was absolutely gorgeously designed. A beautiful illustrative cover and some really interesting, like, very clear graphic layout from inside. So that's what sort of caught my eye, so that's what we're going to look at today. I'm just going to find the little thing on the website. So it actually has a little website. It says, "Ready yourself for tonight. We save the world. The RPG to slay the apocalypse. Capture your imagination with near inescapable dooms that threaten infinite worlds. Be a hero or be the guide to facilitate a heart-racing story to remember." What a really cool tag. You know, I like that. So be the hero, so be a player, or be the guide to facilitate. Not often the GM gets a look in on these things, so pretty cool about that. So yeah, so we're going to look at that. We're actually going to look at the quick start for this book, because I discovered, as I always do in the last 20 minutes, I was like, there is a free quick start for people to look. So please go check that out. I'll put another link. So the link will go to Momento's itch page where you can buy the full book. If you scroll down a little bit to the bottom, you'll see there is a free, not only quick start, which is roughly 17 pages long, which we're going to be looking at today, but also there is an free adventure as well. So it's like tick, tick, tick for us. So I'll put the link in again for folks whilst I remember. Let's do some disclaimers right at the top of the stream. As always, I am not a game designer. That's the number one disclaimer. I'm someone who runs a lot of games. I read a lot of RPGs as well, because I run two RPG-related podcasts. I also am an actual play performer and GM as well, but I'm not a game designer, and I can only think about how much effort and precious resources go into creating beautiful, wonderful games that I can go, brilliant, oh, phew. So everything I say is just more of a critique than a criticism, so take it all with a pinch of salt. Sometimes, as we've discovered, when you're reading a game, you're like, oh, I don't really understand X, Y, or Z, and then when you play it, oh, it totally makes more sense, it sort of fits together. So that's why I'm always like, I'm not a game designer, this is just what my first impressions are as someone who might be going, oh, I want to run this particular game. What is it that appeals to me about it? We want to look at what we like about it, what, if anything, we could improve about it on a first reading through, and also in terms of anything for accessibility reasons as well, because we are reading a PDF version. So that's number one, that I am not a game designer. Number two, I have not been sponsored to do this. This is something that I'm doing on my own time. Again, it's more about an accountability stream for reading an RPG that I've had on my shelf for a little while, but also reading aloud as well. I'm on the side, I'm a voice actor. I'm actually going to do some voice acting later today, which is very exciting. But I want to be, keeping the rhythm of like speaking aloud and like changing tones and all that sort of thing. And sight reading is actually really difficult, it turns out. So that's why I challenge myself to do this, which is mortifying whenever I see pronunciations that are bad. That's another sort of disclaimer. My pronunciations, terrible. Even stuff like you think everyone can say. So yeah, so don't judge me too harshly for that. But as I said, I'm not sponsored by Mementos or anyone that is connected to Arc, the RPG, on this front. The final thing I'm going to say is content warnings. I don't know what this RPG entails. Presumably, if the tagline is the Doom RPG, there'll be some apocalyptic themes. I'm guessing maybe some stuff to do with the weather, severe sort of like changes in the environment, maybe armies, warfare, that sort of thing. I'm just anything to do with apocalypses, I think is saying. So if that is something that you're not feeling right now, you're not vibing, you're like, a festive spirit, Fiona, come on. Do take a moment to look after yourself and take a step away from the stream. It'll always be here if you wish to come back and have a look, but this game might not be for you, and that's a-okay. So just take care of yourself, and if something comes up, I'll try and sort of flag it up as we go. All right, enough out of that way. I'm going to zip over to, away from Big Fiona Face to the actual website. This is the ARC website. So it says mementos.com/ARC-RPG. And this is just a really, this is very interesting. Because ARC, what I will say, if you look at the media coverage, which we'll look at in a second, it is a very well-reviewed RPG. It's got many sort of mentions, certainly from like 2001, 2002, where I believe it's when it was released. And so the creator has created its own sort of landing page with not only ways you can get it in print. If you want to get a physical copy, say from Exalted Funeral in the US, you can do that. If you want to download a PDF copy, there's a link to the itch page, which is what I've done for this thing, but also media coverage a little bit more and resources as well, all in one bit. And it looks really good. And again, it's one thing I want to say. The reason why we always look at where we can get an RPG from is because often this is the first time you'll see something. Someone recommends it to you and then sends you the link. This is what you're going to be seeing. And one of those things, if you're a game designer, you've made your game, great, then how do you get people to bloody read the thing or bloody buy the thing and understand how good it is? So I just want to absolutely kudos to Mementos and their team. Presumably, a couple of people may be involved in making this, but it looks really slick, really amazing. So there it is at the top. So this artwork here on the right, that is of the sort of the front cover of the hardback at least, and you can see sort of an individual that's sort of like made of pure light, sort of radiating out. Looks like they're standing on like I want to say a lake of some sort. We can see some coral underneath here, some really beautiful sort of, again, the colours are really evocative here. And then I assume a moon knight of some sort. We've got someone who's got a big moon or a big sort of circular sphere as a head, maybe a bubble knight perhaps. And then they've got a flaming sword, which is sort of sparking here. And we're sort of seeing their perspective over their right shoulder, I believe. Really cool. It's like, oh, very exciting. So again, when it says Arc, the name itself, who knows what that means, but like, ooh, apocalyptic, end of the world ending stuff. Really cool. And yeah, this line here, again, we've got Arc, ready yourself for tonight we save the world. Great, that's a nice cool little tagline that you could say to your players. But here's the thing, the RPG to slay the apocalypse just captures what this game is in 6 words. Very hard to do, so I really like that. And then the second line here is, capture your imagination with near inescapable dooms that threaten infinite worlds. Whoa, it's expanded, it's built on that previous sort of premise, love that. And then here, this sort of call to action, be a hero or be the guide to facilitate a heart-racing story to remember. Every word in this little bit under here has been chosen so carefully. I love it. It's very hard to do, so absolute kudos. Again, it's just like, I go, whoa, that's impressive. It's not big chunky paragraphs like trying to explain what the system is or anything like that. It is, here's the vibes. Do you want to play a game about being a hero or facilitating a heart-racing adventure to remember? And it's about apocalypses and ending the apocalypse. Love it. Also, right at the top, I will say, yeah, you can join the I was going to say Substack/newsletter, but I went similar to the newsletter as well to find out more about their games, and join the Discord. There's a Discord for this as well, which shows some beautiful artwork. And then as you go down, animated stuff. Again, maybe you don't need this per se, but a lot of effort's gone into this to promote this game. And I'm here for it. And yeah, you've got these little symbols showing a little bit of the different art. How gorgeous is this artwork, right? I think that's the thing people will take away from this, is that the artwork is so evocative, so beautiful. It's almost like, I appreciate I'm not an artist, so I don't know the different techniques, but it's like almost like paper-like different colours and stuff. They're so vibrant. They're so incredible. We've got some reviews, some testimonials at the top. Fantastic. And then right here, don't wait for the very end. Resources to start playing. Let's go. So here we have the Arcanum, which is a complete web searchable rules and reference materials of Arc, updated from time to time. There is like a source reference document here, so I'm going to open that up. How good is that? Oh, it also automatically says not found. Incredible. That's a shame. Let me just try it. Yeah, not found. Oh no, what a shame. I love the idea that it is searchable. Maybe it's a different link. Maybe if I try this one, perhaps. Oh, it's going to take me somewhere else. Hang on. No. Oh, no, I've mucked up already. Let's open this one and see. Maybe it's just changed the... There you go, the Arkham there. So it's here. I think that whatever that link doesn't work. That's unfortunate, but the link at the top does work. So here we can actually look at stuff. Again, more links back to where you can download it for physical and digital. Amazing. That's really good. I think that's amazing that you can have. And here it says, doesn't contain spells, techniques, or creatures for now. It is a living document and may be updated from time to time to gather additional common alternative rulings and guidance for creators. If you are new to art, consider going through each category in order. Great. To be honest, the fact that this exists instantly makes me go, great, I have this to hand. I don't necessarily need to flip through a physical or a PDF book. I can look through here once I've read the actual book. So big tick there. Quick start rules. So this is where you can download it. Last updated 28th of July. I presume maybe not this year, but who knows? Who knows? Then we have something called the Doom Sheet, which is a reference sheet for the guide. We've got an online character sheet. Tick, tick, tick. Very much appreciate that. It's a Google Sheet as well. So again, hopefully you have access to Google Sheets, like through your Google Gmail, and then a print character sheet as well. And then here is that free adventure I was talking about, the Summer Blooms, which is a 4-hour adventure set in a slightly whimsical world akin to fairy tales. Plants can talk. Animals have jobs. Oh no, poor animals. And anyone can be both wicked and kind. But like the original tales, these coexist with darker themes in an impending doom where children have ceased laughter and good intentions are used to justify cruel means. Ooh, a little bit Never After like, huh? Very cool. You also then, like, it doesn't stop there. You've got a Roll20 character sheet, an AIP. You've got a Discord bot. You've got a Doom Quest generator, and you've got the creator's license. So there is so much support for this game already. That is amazing. Yeah, I feel like it's not been updated properly maybe since 2022, which is fine. Maybe it doesn't need anything like that. And then here's all the interviews and stuff like that. So yeah, Dicebreaker played Ark. I did not know that. That's pretty amazing. So a lot of stuff around the world. Some photos as well in the wild. Great. Beautiful. So there you go. And then, yeah, the campaign press kit as well. So if you want to find out more about the information, they have it all here as well. Yeah, so I cannot fault it. I feel like having a page like this is incredible. And it does so much well, especially if you're doing like a Kickstarter or you're trying to do a big push. Having an individual page like this is amazing. So absolute kudos to it. Let's go over to the itch page, because this is where maybe if you're going to get the PDF like I did, you go through here. So yeah, you can see a lot of images there. Again, just showing you out. Look at the spread. See, nice big text in places, but it's all in keeping with that graphic design. That's the sort of the themes coming out here. So we've got, like, on the left here, we've got like a big sort of like page spread of a looks like an individual with their hands above their head. Looking incredible. I mean, God, it looks like something from Paris Fashion Week, doesn't it? Sort of an individual, looks like whitish tones to their skin, holding their hands above their head with sort of like ribbons, or even like it looks like ribbons, doesn't it, coming off of the cuffs on their arms and on their shoulders, surrounded by like a beautiful sort of like greeny blue cloak that's attached to their big headpiece, which is incredible. And then some text on the side talking about spells and techniques. Very cool. Yeah, so that's almost like the chapter piece there with artwork there. Very, very cool. Got some other bits and pieces like 5-minute videos and stuff like that. A bit more of the what ARC is, which we'll go into a little bit before we do the quick start. Actual play videos, all good stuff. Stuff. And then right at the bottom, again, lots of things to zoom down about. So yeah, you can purchase it from Exalted Funeral for a physical copy. The actual PDF, the full version of it, is $25. And with that, you get the core book and you get the markdown version as well. So great, that's good. There was community copies as well. Unfortunately, they've all been taken, understandably so. But this is what I was going to point people to if they're not sure about this game, even though the art looks incredible. The Quick Start Final Guide, yes, it looks like last updated was 2022. And then the ARC, you can get them both here, so enough to go. That would be incredible. All right. So let's have a quick read of what it is. So yeah, successfully funded in 2021, so a couple of years old. That's good. And yeah, one of the top indie tabletop RPGs of 2021, and Dicebreaker's best tabletop RPGs you might have missed. There you go. So shall we zoom in a little bit, because I appreciate I've zoomed out a little bit for this. All right, move this over. So, what is ARC Deep Dive? Oh, there's a 5-minute. Oh, look at that. There's even a 5-minute interview. Oh, that's the I know those are the +1 folks that do a deep dive in a video form. That's always a really cool thing to do. Oh, hello, Sinister Artist Trading Cards. What a very cool title for your channel. Amazing. Glad to have you here, my friend. But we'll look at the reading, what we can see here, in case we can watch the video for whatever reason. So what is ARC? Stories you make and play in ARC run against a timer. Whilst heroes navigate and transform the world around them, the real-time doomsday clock ticks irreversibly. It ticks to an irreversibly cataclysmic event. Manage your hours. The doomsday clock allows you to dictate literally how much time you need for your story. What? That sounds wild. Skill checks allow for players' ingenuity, and heroes are naturally adept at their skills, but players articulate how these are applied. Insightful solutions can ease the threshold number, so presumably the difficulty number. Pick up play with raised stakes. The tight rules, including a unique initiative and story consequences for death. Ooh, so there's 2 unique selling points there. Fit on the back of a character sheet. Great. The unique blend of real-time and in-story mechanics means, however, that games will always have a sense of mission and purpose. That's really interesting. I think the only other game I've come across that uses like in real-world like time when we've been doing this particular stream is Shadow Dark, which had that thing of like for every torch is like I want to say 10 minutes. 10 minutes of real time is 10 minutes of the torch or something like that. Netromancer says, makes sense, this game lasts 4 hours. We aren't done by then, you lose. Well, technically that's the adventure, isn't it? But yeah, we'll see. And there we go. All right. So far I'm feeling confident. Sounds good. Let's head over then, shall we, to So yeah, so like I said, we're looking at the quick start, which you can get on the on the itch page. So we're looking at this final version. What I will say instantly, when I had a quick look at this, it is sorry, my brain is going, rather than portrait like most RPG books are, it's this landscape. There's not a page spread. It's not pages. It's like a proper spread of a book, which is very different to what we look up here. And so I found that very interesting. But again, it's different. It's eye-catching. Maybe I don't know if you're looking at this on your iPad. Maybe because you're more likely to have your iPad in the horizontal form if you're playing. I don't know. So I just thought that was a really interesting, choice. Layout choice. So we have it here, ARC Quick Start, the final version. No name. I keep going about it. Game designers, please put your name on your books. It's very important you do that because somebody won't know where, ARC Quick Start could mean anything. So I think actually I'd probably put ARC the Doom RPG. At least that will capture some SEO or something like that. But do put your name on it. Does it say ARC? Yeah, it says ARC there as well, doesn't it? What if it's? So I've got my big version here. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? So this is my full version. So the full version is 172 pages in the PDF, and it says ARC twice. I didn't notice that before, but yeah, you can see that how bright those colours are from the cover. If I flick back, yes, okay, I like it. It's not too different. Hopefully you folks can see. I might zoom in a tiny bit. Oh, that was a shame, wasn't it? I was like, no. Let me move this across a little bit. Close that. Oh, I didn't want whatever that moved. I wanted this to move. There we go. There we go. Yes, that should do. Okay, so let's start. Page 2. ARC is a rules-light, tension-heavy fantasy tabletop role-playing game where anyone can create urgent stories ticking down a seemingly inescapable apocalypse. How good is that? Again, we've talked about this before, about the highlighting or emboldening certain words to be like, this is the point of the sentence, right? So rules light, tension heavy, urgent stories, apocalypse. They sort of shout out to you. This quick start gives you the essential information to start playing ARC. It includes key excerpts for setting the doom, hero creation, core rules, and even sample play and creatures condensed from the full book. It does not include all hero creation options, fair enough, the full list of spells and techniques and associated rules, and even more extensive examples and guiding information, an appendix full of fascinating creatures, and all the unforgettable art. I like it. Again, just telling you like what's in it, what's not. I think that's great for just making it clear from the beginning. And so like great, so we can do hero creation, we can make some characters, so that's quite good. Here we've got some links. Do the links work? No. Yeah, again, it's one of those things where I can understand. Again, it would be really cool to have some hyperlinks, or make these hyperlinks. I've just downloaded them from the itch, so that's a shame. But then we've got the credits as well. So writing, art, and layout by Momentos, editing by Jarrett Crader, Fiona Geist, and the Kickstarter by Exalted Funeral Press. So yeah, quite well-known RPG publisher and company. In the US, at least. Alright, so why play ARC? So we play ARC to escape to a world filled with memorable, heart-racing tales. Challenge awaits you. Can you overcome looming obliteration? And build a story together. Support each other as heroes on a fantasy adventure, creating narratives that alter the course of destiny. And third, and most importantly, have fun. Even if you've never played or run a tabletop role-playing game before. It's easy to feel anxious and uncertain with a new hobby. The full book will guide you on becoming heroes immersed in adventure, so you don't have to worry about the doom. So that you have to worry about the doom and not yourself. Amazing. Oh, hello, Rory the Romulan. A video that gives a glimpse of a chart as a guideline of X sessions to... hang on. A video gives a glimpse of a chart as a guideline for a number of sessions to a number of ticks of a clock. So it could range from one shot to a long play. Oh, I'm guessing you're looking at this at the same time. You've probably raced ahead. Interesting. Oh, I like that. So the number, or possibly, again, we'll find out, the number of minutes to the clock indicate the number of sessions. Interesting. Yeah, so yeah, it talks about this, like how long you have. It is dependent on that doomsday clock. So very interesting. ARC enables people wishing to run a game with limited experience. The doom and its omens create tension and manage the story's pacing. The rules are approachable, so you can focus on helping make the best story for the table. And additionally, in the last chapter of the full book is filled with tips for building good experience for you and your friends. Play ARC if you're ready to slay the apocalypse. Great. And I love, again, it's so... Maybe this is just me, and I appreciate I have a very weird experience from working in a higher education with academics and stuff like that. And this is no means a critique on how it looks. I really like how it looks. I feel it's very different, and the way it's laid out, like it's easy to read. I can go through it. It doesn't feel like a manual per se. It feels like, you know, a piece of art. But my goodness, it does feel a little bit like I remember when marketing sent me, like, here is the house styles of how you do all your presentations. That's what it feels like, a little bit, like all the different colours and all like the different codes and stuff. I just remember reading it going, the academics will never look at this. I'll memorise it though. So yeah, nice. Okay, so what do I need to play the quick start? So we need one player called the guide. We get a cool name as a GM. Neuromancer says, still easy to read than Morkborg. True, but at least Morkborg does have the bare bones edition, so you can read it easily. I mean, yeah, I think Morkborg is definitely more of a rebelling of style. This is definitely more straightforward and like probably has the accessibility in mind, let's face it. But the 1 player is called it's a guide, so that's the GM, amazing. And the 2 to 6 players, oh wow, 6 players, role-playing heroes, simply referred to as players. So heroes and guide. Okay, I like it, I like it. Tools, we have the ARC character sheets to track the hero's stats and capabilities. Download, has it got a link? No link. A stopwatch or timer, digital or otherwise. Several 6-sided dice. Where is that? Oh, it's there, sorry. Arc can technically be played with 1 die, but having 2 or 3 is better. And dice are referred to as XD6, where X is the number of 6-sided dice, so 1d6, 2d6, etc. Essentials, a few hours of free time, respect for the fellow players, and a willingness to save the world. Nice. I quite like that. It's sort of self-knowing, rather than like essentials like free time, space to stay, quiet space, don't be distracted, respect for your fellow players, and a willingness to save the world, and willingness to engage with the storyline. Who is the guide? The guide the guide sets the scenes and role plays as non-hero characters, and builds challenges and situations that other players must tackle. The guide also reinforces the rules and helps initiate the conversation and planning on what story to explore. However, others are also part of this process. Being a guide is perfect if you love planting story seeds for others and growing it with them to make a unique creation. Oh, that's nice. Here at the bottom we've got presumably some examples of like play examples. It's a little bit different. It looks like some text of some sort. Oh, interesting. It is screen readable. I didn't think it was going to be screen readable at all. Nice. Hey, good. We can find it out on the accessibility. How do you play Arc? So Arc is great for tense, bounded story arcs with looming and uncertain futures, using the hair-raising Doom's clock to unleash havoc. So the setup. Guide and players decide on what kind of story to tackle. Is it knights fighting gears, glorious bard saviors, Babylon facing the Bakanawa? The guide then prepares the Doom, 3 omens, and the Doomsday Clock. Number 2, hero creation. Players create their heroes. Afterwards, the game itself begins and can be played across 1 or multiple sessions. And 3, the game session. The guide sets the scene and the heroes react. Difficult, risky actions require a rolling dice in a skill check to see if the hero succeeds. Sometimes the situation escalates to a conflict. At set intervals, the Doomsday Clock advances. If it reaches the end, the Doom arrives and the group has to decide what happens in this changed world. Nice. Okay, simple enough. I like the gold is interesting, isn't it? The sort of highlighting of certain things. We've talked about it before. Oh, come on. So we've got, here's the gold here to visit for character sheets, and what the guide is, what, why you would want to be a guide, why is it perfect, why you should be the guide, what kind of stories you can create, and then what the sort of unique thing about, we've got, create characters, game session, simple, but here's the thing, at intervals the Doom Clock advances, and that's the end of it. Interesting. Okay, so far so good. So, setup for the guide. So number 1 is create a Doom, a terrible event that heroes will want to prevent at any cost. So for example, it gives here world-ending earthquake brought by a goddess's impending death, the prophesied arrival of ravenous shadow creatures. Those are 2 really good, interesting ones. Number 2 is create 3 omens. Omens are story fronts contributing to the advancing Doom. Whilst they may not directly cause a Doom, they help speed its arrival. So for example here, a widening crack in a forgotten portal, border villages fall mysteriously ill, an arcane book missing from the Magic University. Sorry, I thought that line ran on to the next line. It would be nice to have maybe some full stops, perhaps, or a little bit see, like it's done here. It sort of moved in the sentence in a little bit, so you can tell that's it. And also there's at least a full stop there at the end. And here's like a play example here. So interesting that they denote the play example in the text as sort of this light green with a little bit of like the yellow there. I wonder if they'll carry on doing that. That's quite good. So it says, the play example, the meteor looms closer and closer. Humanity could only watch and whimper as the doom descended on them all. There have been warning signs, strange omens, even a scorned prophetess. Ugh. All ignored by a people desperate to blind their eyes to the truth. More about omens. The more omens are active, the faster the doom arrives. The heroes can resolve omens by removing its cause or rendering its impact moot. So, for example, heroes could resolve the omen the local cult is hoarding gold and jewellery by defeating all the members, stealing back the valuables, convincing the cult to disarm, asking the local Kawal to intervene, or even burning down the cult's headquarters. You know, going from possibly 1 in terms of difficulty to burning it all down. Number 3, build the Doomsday Clock. So the Doomsday Clock is made of discrete segments called moments. The number and speed of moments depends on the length of play. So one session game, the Doom Clock has 3 moments per hour of play, advancing every half hour. Oh, okay. So if you have a 3-hour session, you have 9 moments. Oh, that's my timer gone off. Sorry, I thought I'd turned that off. I was like, oh, let's try that again. So that's my big timer. So you have 9 moments. So 2 every... Wait, no, that's not right. And advances every half hour. Yeah, 1, 2... No, what am I talking about? Sorry, my brain is... Yeah, 3 moments. And advance every half hour. Oh, okay. Right, yes. And then 2 to 3 sessions, 1.5 moments per hour of play, and advances every hour. And then 4 sessions plus is 1.5 moments per session of play, and advances every session. Interesting. So yeah, obviously the shorter, we've got a one shot, let's go, and a 2 shot. Okay, interesting. Every time the Doom Clock advances, a moment is consumed. Then the guide rolls 1d6 per omen still in play, and for every 5 or 6, the clock advances 1 more moment. Okay. Right. I see. Because I was for some reason I was confusing myself, because like it's once every 20 minutes would be that. If it was like if we had 3 hours, for example, so we have 9 moments. That's 1 moment, presumably every 20 minutes, if you were keeping track of it. And then every half hour you would roll. Interesting. Yeah. Oh no, the Doomsday Clock. Bing bong. That's the end. Oh, it's advanced forward. Very good, very good. Neuromancer. Very good. So sample clock for a 3-hour single session. Oh, it's already doing it on the side. Oh. 2 moments are already gone and only 7 left. Right. I don't know why I was trying to work it out here when it absolutely is just here. Oh no, the Doomsday Clock. Hero creation. Part 1. Players move the story and explore the collective through heroes, or the collective world through heroes. Any hero can be played as long as they make sense in the setting. Oh, let me hang on. They've moved it slightly. Oh, I didn't even realise. Oh, that's my bad. Sorry, guys. I didn't realise it was covered up. Let me try that again. There we go. Let me move it up a little bit. There we go. Should be better now. Sorry, I didn't realise I hadn't shown it. There we go. So players move the story and explore the collective collective world through heroes. Any hero can be played as long as they make sense in the setting. Their capabilities are expressed through several aspects such as skill and health, which are built during the hero creation process for a well-rounded and capable character. So this quick start gives you the steps needed to build a hero. However, the full book will give you more options and even guidance on how to randomly generate aspects. Nice. I'm a big fan of randomly generating characters now. I just think I find it so easier. So then the clock is maximum, but it can go faster? That's a bit odd. I planned for 3 hours, but we've rolled a bunch of sixes, so the game will only last 30 minutes. Lol. I assume you still have the time, right? I think it's just more that they have to make a decision, or you can spread out the sort of story beats a little bit more. You know, that's what I mean. I think it's also players like to talk. I don't think that's a problem. I don't think the game would finish up. I think you'd be like, okay, how do you do this? And then as soon as this sort of comes into contact with the players, I don't think you're gonna have like, well, it's 30 minutes left. I think it will I think that's yeah. I don't know. I feel like I like the idea. Yeah, it'd be interesting. 5 or 6. So it's one. Hang on, sorry. You've interested me now. Let's see. So what is it? It's one. Yeah, because it's going to escalate very quickly, isn't it? So those two. So say for this, we take this example. So 2 moments I've gone have been eaten up, right? Every time that a moment is consumed, and then you roll for still in play. Oh wow! Wait a minute, still in play. So you have 7 still in play. So you roll 5d6. Oh, sorry, you roll 7d6. Okay, now I get it. I thought it was the other way around for some reason. That's wild. That could easily escalate quite quickly, couldn't it? Again, it's that sort of thing where maybe I need to see it in play. Alright, step 1 for character creation or hero creation story. Approach scores. Approach scores represent the hero's aptitude for solving problems and using skills in particular ways. Do they tend towards creative solutions? Are they careful and detail orientated? Or do they gravitate towards resolving challenges through sheer concerted effort? To determine approach scores, assign 0, +1, and +2 to creative, careful, and concerted in any order you like. Oh, okay. So really rules light, huh? So 0 means 0 aptitude, +1 is average, and +2 is gifted, and a +3, if you ever get it, is expert. Step 2, blood and guts. Blood is the hero's ability to withstand physical change. If it becomes 0, the next physical damages reduces the approach scores instead. Guts measures the hero's ability to withstand psychosocial damage. Oh, psychosocial damage. Like blood, if it becomes 0, the next psychosocial damage reduces the approach scores. To determine blood and guts modifiers, allocate to blood and guts so that their sum is 6 with a minimum of 0. So for example, okay, 4 and 2, 1 and 5, 0 and 6. Wow, wait, no one in their right mind will put 0 here for one of them. That's bonkers. Oh, it's modifiers. These are modifiers. I understand. And then roll blood and guts to set this value. So presumably a d6, right? I was going to say here it's going to do 2d6. There you go. I was just there like, whoa. 0 and just 6. I'm so hard in terms of physical. I'm very strong in myself, but don't hurt me. I'm weak. Heroes sustain harm, but can recover blood and guts with enough rest. When heroes wake up from a long rest, a specific type of break taking 5 real-time minutes to up to 15 in-story hours, the player has the option of rolling a new maximum blood and guts for the rest of the day equal to 2d6 plus their hero's modifier. Have I missed? So that's healing. I assume like blood and guts, you roll maybe 2d6, but maybe I've just made that up because I'm just looking at it here. Maybe if I look for character sheet, maybe it was tell us there. I wonder if this was inspired by fate accelerated approaches. Oh, like the aspect. Oh, sorry, the approaches for the character sheets. Maybe. I don't know. It's been a while. I will admit, it's been a while since I've done fate accelerated. But yeah, the approaches to have that sort of like the sort of very minimum like do these sort of things. Yeah, I think so. Especially, yeah, it's because it's about like how do you approach something? Are you creative in the solution? Are you careful? Are you strong about it? Those sort of the 3 different ways of doing it. Heroes use skills, or skill ranks, sorry. Heroes use skills to solve a wide array of challenges such as defeating giant rats, talking to immense dragons, or haggling the price of wares. And we've got 5 different categories. We've got knowledge, which has underneath it academic, culture, observed tactics. We've got the second category is social, underneath knowledge there, charisma, guile, impose, and insight. third category is physical, acrobatics, coordination, physique, weaponry, practical, artistry, survival, tinker and trade, and then prowess only has 2, which is arcana and focus. To determine skill ranks, I allocate +2 to 2 skills and then +1 to 3 skills. Like approaches, 0 means 0 aptitude, +1 is average, +2 is gifted, and +3 is expert. Ah, okay. I we'll find out this in a second. But that bugs me because everything else is like dead straightforward. You need to roll for that? So, okay, and we've got some examples here. Nice. So we'll have a quick look. I see. So knowledge, theorizing a scientific principle with academic, deciphering a village's elders' hidden song with culture, investigating a crime scene for clues with observe, knowing how to position oneself in a heated battle with tactics. We can look at the character sheet for more examples. Okay, so we've got okay. Interesting. I think very straightforward enough. I do like how, again, using the gold to highlight which skill it is. I think that's quite good. It would be nice if these titles for each column, so knowledge, social, physical, practical, and prowess, was a little bit bigger, I think. Because these skills are quite big, I'd say. Okay, part 2 for hero creation. Inventory. The hero's inventory contains useful items for creating better opportunities and even new capabilities. Surviving a cold night in the wilderness, for example, is much easier with a tent and a flint and tinder to make fire. Inventory also covers powerful abilities such as spells and techniques, which have unique effects on the world. Little play example, there's a chicken. The rogue asks incredulously, "What use do I have for a chicken?" Let's just say it's very handy for dealing with a certain foul-phobic baron. The stranger smiles. So to determine the inventory, pick from below. You may have more than one item unless it's marked by an asterisk. So pick 2 from this list. So we've got 3 days rations, crowbar and lantern, 50 feet rope and rolled up carpet. Classic. We've got a booming voice. Can you pick that twice? That's wild. A well-rounded education. You can only have that once. A Lifebringer, which is a spell. You or any other being you can see regains 4 blood and 4 guts. A memory seed technique. Use your charm and willpower's force to plant seeds of a false yet a vivid memory in a target. Oh gosh, wow. Then pick 2 more from this list. So second column. A heavy crown with an oppressive aura. Oh, mate, of course you're going to pick that. No, you don't. Why not? I never leave home without my heavy crown with an oppressive aura, I'll say. I think they made it small because they're not mechanically relevant keywords. I think that's fair. I just think as a table, if you're reading it as a table, I think it should just be the same size, or even just like have a box or like a line underneath it. You know what I mean? That's the only thing I'd say. No, but I think that's absolutely fair. They're not mechanically relevant. I get that. So what we've got? I got distracted by the heavy crown with an oppressive aura. Mirror and fine clothes. Thieves' tool, disguise kit, manacles. Like, I'm sorry, you started with that though. I want that. Ooh, dagger and toga, which has a +1 blood damage and +1 blood defense. Oh, self-esteem and personal growth. You can only take that once. Wow. +1 guts and +1 guts defense. Little Escapologist, which is a spell. You turn completely invisible for 10 real-time minutes or 3 turns in conflict. You generate neither smell or sound. Okay, weird description. And then Stonewall, which is a technique. Reduce all damage by 1 for the next 15 real-time minutes or 5 turns in a combat. Oh man, no, it's definitely, heavy crown and oppressive aura and the dagger and toga. Absolutely. Why would I ever pick anything else? And then finally pick 1 item more from this list. So this third list here. So a set of alchemicalist tools plus 1 dose of a rare drug, a pair of glasses granting dark vision, a sturdy sword, devastating vocabulary, manic hands, 4 arms and hands burst from your face. Oh, not my face, for 10 real-time minutes or 3 turns in a conflict. You may perform 2 skill checks per turn in a conflict. Outside conflict, you can have +1, probably target number, I'm guessing, for actions that benefit from extra hands, but -1 to social skills. Yeah, because I presume it's not, maybe it's not arms and hands from your face. And then turn the tide, which is a technique. All your skill checks come with an opportunity for 10 real-time minutes or 3 turns in conflict. Okay. Sorry. I mean, I like these options. Bonds. Bonds represent two heroes' relationship visualized through 3 big boxes, each divided into 4 quadrants. Every new step of a bond fills a quadrant, also called a minor level. Every big box that gets filled represents a major level of a bond. So here for an example, so we got +1 in the first box if the hero accepts inconvenience for their companion. +2 up to the second box if the hero accepts harm for the companion. And +4 in any box if the hero is ready to die or make a life-changing choice for another. Okay, to determine bonds, you have 6 minor levels of a bond with one ally, 3 minor with another. Okay, so wait, 6 minor levels of a bond. That's just surely a major bond +2 extra, right? Weird. From your face? If you get a crown, you have to get the mirror to see how awesome it looks. Well, no, I disagree with that. I feel like if you have the crown, you know how awesome you look because everyone is running away from you because you've got the oppressive aura. It's oddly specific. I don't know about this bond level thing. Am I being a bit silly about this? Because, like, every big box, but I assume the big box is going to be like that big 4 quadrant thing. If you have 6 minor levels of bond. I don't know. I will see an example, I know, but I'm just like going like, oh, weird. Okay, core rules. Skill checks first. So whenever a player attempts a risky action with a chance for an interesting success or failure, the guide may ask them to make a skill check, declaring a skill and approach based on the intended outcome. Most of the time, the same challenge can be resolved in different ways. Sneaking past a troll, for example, can be done with careful plus coordination to sneak by with efficient, stealthy movement. Creative plus tinker to build a contraption to generate distracting noises, or even concerted and culture to recall that trolls have poor eyesight. Players should narrate how the approach applies to the skill. So, for example, saying, I try to deduce artistic motifs from markings on the altar. Sorry, it's because I saw artist next to deduce. So that's a Freudian slip there for me. It's much better than I observe creatively. Here's what I mean before. You know, we were saying about like, they're not impulsive. Like here they are. You see this? This is much better. So I can tell. So yeah, we've got some knowledge, skill, and creative. So yeah, thinking laterally. So I like this. So maybe it's a bit small. Let me move in a little bit because I appreciate it's a little bit. This one, yeah. I feel that's a little bit better, right? I feel like you can see it. And there's some examples on how approach can apply to skills. So I like that. I think that's quite good. Hopefully that'll be on a character sheet somewhere. Then it says, move it here a little bit. The sum of the skill ranks and a chosen approach score determines the threshold number. So once the threshold number is known, the player rolls 1d6 to determine the outcome. A roll under the threshold number means a success. Ah, okay. Right, so if you had... Right, because you're not going to have too many big ones at the beginning, right? You'll have like a 2, say, in creative, and maybe a 1 in tinker, right? So you have to get 3 and you roll 1d6 and you have to get under it. So it's a 50% chance. Okay, that's great. Okay, I've got that now. However, other factors can help or even hinder success. And it says difficulty. Oh, let me move this across a little bit. There we go. Before the roll, the guide can adjust the target number based on the relative difficulty of the task. So easy is just like a +1 to the threshold number. You have very good tools, the target has poor defenses, or the action is very well planned. A difficult is no alteration at all, it's just a 0. Very difficult is a -1. So that's very, very inadequate or even incorrect tools. Excuse me. Capacity or circumstances. Target has effective defenses, or action is significantly high risk or poorly planned. Staggeringly hard is -2, and then impossibly hard is a -3. Oof, brutal. I feel that's wild though. Like, I feel like you shouldn't go anywhere above like a minus. I feel like you get a +1, +0, or a -1, right? I feel -2 and -3. I don't think that's fair because like you're not gonna get necessarily at the beginning. You're not gonna get higher than a 4, right? So you'd have to roll a 1, and you'd always roll a 1. Oh no, you won't roll a 1. What I'm talking about. Yeah. Sorry, I completely mucked that up there. I feel like maybe just 1, 0, and -1 would do it, but yeah, -3, yeah, maybe I'm just being silly about it. Then we've got using bonds. So before the roll, one ally can assist to increase the target number equal to their major levels of a bond with the hero. The ally must have a relevant skill they can use to help with. Alternatively, an ally may sacrifice minor levels of a bond to allow a reroll. Okay, I like that. I like the idea of sacrificing bonds to reroll. I'm guessing that's something to do with, if I go back to it, this stuff. Right? So you get a +1 to the target. Oh no, so you get, maybe, sorry, I'm being silly now. Maybe, so like, what was it? To increase it, you'd increase it by 4, I'm guessing? And then here, sacrifice the levels for rerolls, like you reroll, perhaps. I don't know. I don't know. Alright. Maybe I'll zoom out a little bit again. So the core skills, skill check continues. So if the skill check's 1d6 roll is equal to the threshold number, the player chooses success with a consequence, or fail with an opportunity. That's interesting. We don't often get stuff. It's like more games nowadays are like equal to or under or equal to or whatever. You still succeed. So I do like the idea of like, what if it's equal to, that something special happens. So success with a consequence, complicating the situation, either the guide or the player may suggest freely or from the following. So we have like a couple of examples here. So delay or inefficiency, i.e. taking too long that the guards are rounding the corner. Permanent or temporary loss of a resource, so having a weapon stuck in the enemy's armor. Oh, that's quite a good one. Discord and misunderstanding, besmirched reputation with a merchant. Overkill, harming the bard inadvertently due to overspill effects, and then, question mark, unknown to be revealed later, or presumably in the full book. Okay. And then fail with opportunity, improving the hero and the ally's situation. Either the guide or the player may suggest freely or from the following. We have risk reduction, so de-escalating tension in negotiations, risk redirection, putting someone else on the spot, gaining trust or respect, impressing the Elven Queen. Oh, they always need impressing those queens. New knowledge, i.e. discovering a weakness of the... Oh, wow. Manna Nan Gargal. And unknown. Again, to be revealed later. Fair enough. Neutromancer says, Fate also requires rolling higher. A tie is a minor cost. My GM often forgets that and makes a tie a success. Yeah, I think because it's trying to streamline it, isn't it? Rather than having lots of things to think about. I think it's really interesting. I quite like it. I'll be honest, as a thing to think about. Because I like that the player may suggest it's not just the guide that does it. It's the player, because it's that I fail, but I can still move the story on because I get an opportunity. If the roll exceeds the threshold number, the hero exceeds the threshold and the action fails. Yes, that's right. Depending on the stakes at hand, the guide may also introduce a complication as a result. Upgrading outcomes. So, however, players may sacrifice free blood or free guts once to upgrade the outcome. So a tied roll is upgraded to a pure success. A fail roll may be upgraded to a success with a consequence or failure with an opportunity. And success rolls cannot be upgraded. Yeah, that makes sense. Weirdly, I'm like, upgraded. in my head it's downgraded because you need to get lower. But yeah, I understand. Okay, yeah. Again, that sacrificing thing, I like that. I think it's something. It's the intended gambler in me. It's like, well, I need to make this check now because it's important. If I keep failing checks now, I won't be able to succeed a check later. But then it's like, well, you succeeded this check now, but what if you can't succeed the one later as a result? So I quite like those choices personally. Then we've got conflict. So during a conflict, so presumably combat, characters are at odds with one another and victory is on the line. Imagine a tavern fight, a showdown with a boss, or even a verbal beatdown from the guild courtesans. In a conflict, anyone can make a difference. Characters' actions and reactions must be carefully sequenced in turns, which require unique rules. In Arc, turn order is determined by intent, not a roll. Okay, so not as unique as I thought it might have been. Okay. So note here, the conflict rules mention a specific unit for a distance, the height, meaning equal to an average human's height, which is roughly around 1.6 meters or 5 to 6 feet. Sure. So, actions in a turn. So during their turn, heroes may do one action from below as well as move, but not flee anywhere within 2 heights. So 6 foot. So we've got stand the ground. So if anyone attacking the heroes or allies within 2 heights receives a -1 to threshold thing. So it's more difficult. You're standing your ground. Harm others. Make a skill check to attack. Successful weaponry and physique checks to damage blood, impose or insight for guts. A player may also attempt to justify inflicting damage on another situationally relevant skill. Threshold number may be reduced by the target's defense items and applicable difficulty modifiers. Okay, so basically you're making those skill checks. So you're either doing some approach plus either weaponry or physique to damage the blood, and then a approach plus either impose or insight for the guts. Okay. Successful attacks deal damage to blood or guts equal to the threshold number plus any damage bonuses from the weapons. Okay, that's quite straightforward. I like that. You know what? That's actually quite good. That all the threshold stuff is going to be related to your character, right? So like, for you to, well, presumably for you to yeah, because you're making a skill check. So it'll be what? Creative plus Tinker. Say that's a 4 because you've got 2 in each because you're super good at them. So that if you succeed on whatever you're doing, well, no, sorry, let's do that properly. It'll be concerted plus physique, right? Say you have 4, you successfully get under 4, so you deal 4 damage, and you're doing it with like a hitting stick, which has a +1, so you do 5 in total. Okay, easy, fairly easy enough. Assist and create advantage, so improve the threshold number of ally skill checks. The rules are available in the full book. Okay, we'll just ignore that for the moment. Use spell or technique, so the hero performs a spell or technique they have. And every time they are attacked before their turn, they must immediately roll to maintain concentration. The roll's threshold number starts at 6 and reduces by 1 with each subsequent attack. Failure, so the roll is rolled over the threshold number or equal to, but the player chooses failure with an option, means the spell or technique fizzles out, though it does not disappear from the inventory. That is good to know. Interesting. Yeah, so the more you're hit to break your concentration, it lowers that difficulty. Okay, yeah. Lowers the threshold number, which by default would increase the difficulty. Yeah. And then move away. If the hero isn't being attacked or targeted, they may move up to 5 additional heights. Otherwise, the player must succeed at a skill check, for example, with acrobatics or coordination to move. Alternatively, they may opt to move without skill check, but the enemies currently engaging them can make a free roll to attack. Yeah. And then anything else. This may include trying to convince an enemy to stand down, climbing a tree for cover, or performing a ritual. Okay, so those are the 6 different types of actions we can do. Fair enough. And only one of them we would need the full rulebook to understand. Initiative category, so the turn order. So everyone acts in sequence based on intent. This is called the initiative category. Before every round begins, everyone has the opportunity to strategize, and decide who goes in which order. The guide or delegated player then calls out each category to signal who is next. So the first, so it goes in Oh, wait, no, it doesn't go into that full order. So the first people to go is people standing their ground. Then it is taking non-harmful actions. The third then is attacking or harming others. The fourth is spell. And then finally, it's the characters moving beyond 2 fights, so if they're fleeing. So basically, non-harmful actions. Yeah, and then anything else would probably go into... Where would anything else go? Probably here, right? That last thing, rather than the last one. It's the fourth one, perhaps. Yeah, it's just rejigging all where these go. Multiple characters have the same initiative category, though the hero's turns happen first, then allies, then everyone else. If more than one hero acts in the same... If more than one hero acts in the same category, they can sequence themselves in any order. Right, so yeah, if you go on the same initiative, but depending on, you might want to go first rather than my character, fine. Players can change their plan anytime before their turn, but can no longer do an action covered by a past initiative category. Yep, that makes sense. And if the party was taken by surprise, such as an ambush by enemies, then the heroes and allies act last in the first round of combat. Right. Yes. I kind of see that. Oh. I guess, again, it's that something we'd have to play it through, but I understand because it goes... What did it say? It said it before. Players go first, then allies, then everyone else. So almost flip it slightly. So everyone else, allies, then characters. Possibly. Life, Death, and Naps. Oh, that's the title of my autobiography. Fallen heroes when health goes to 0. So when blood or guts is reduced to 0 or less, the next damage is normally targeted. That stat is applied to the approach scores instead. Multiple approach scores may be damaged at once. If all approach scores become 0, the hero falls. If the hero falls, you have the option of letting the fallen hero live or die. If life, the hero becomes incapacitated and unconscious, but fully revives after 5 real-time minutes. Ooh. All approach scores are restored, as well as 1 point to either blood or guts, whichever was reduced to 0. The player then makes a 1d6 roll for additional consequences. So here we have 1 or 2. If you roll that, the hero bears a constantly bleeding wound that deals no damage. Oh, God. If you roll a 3 or 4, no longer blinks and must constantly apply water to their eyes. 5 or 6 may now speak to the dead. However, the dead does not necessarily like them. Wow. I mean, I don't know. I like that sort of consequence things. I feel they're book wild though, right? No longer blinks. You're just constantly staring and then just throwing water in your eyes. That's wild. Can you heal for that? I don't know. Most people I know don't like initiative depending on pre-declared actions, except Battletech fans, I suppose. I think it's getting, because it's obviously this is rules light, right? So that's what it is. I think it's a different way of sort of like pre-planning what you're going to do. Like, I might have a really good idea, but I'm like, you've got this really cool, powerful spell, right? I'm gonna help you in some way, and that's what the taking non-harmful actions would be. So I guess that's the thing, like, let me go first because I can do this thing. So yeah, I don't mind it too much, but I guess it's not unique enough for me. Like, I know quite a few RPGs that do this. I think what I find tricky about it, and maybe that's because, again, I need to play it through, is that there's nowhere, like, it's like, well, if you apply this to the players, you also have to apply it to then their allies and everyone else, like the BBGs, etc. And in my head, I'm always a big fan of, like, the BBG goes first, or it goes, like, you either go all before the party or go after the party, or have that snake draft thing where you pick the next person. I always prefer that, because I feel like it just maybe complicates matters a little bit. And also then I have to think about where the BBEG will go as well. It's such a small point, but that's the only thing I would think of. Is that it may be a little bit heady if you're in the middle of a combat, but I don't know. It seems very quick and easy, right, compared to most combats that we look at. So if death, every other hero gains XP. Oh gosh, equal to 3 times their minor bond with the fallen hero. And the Doomsday Clock advances 1 moment, and the player must create a new hero, which seems quite straightforward enough in terms of creating heroes quite quickly on the fly. Recovering health. So heroes may replenish good blood and guts. I was saying guts and blood, and I went good instead. By resting in safe places away from enemies. So a short rest, so a nap that lasts 2 real-time minutes and 1 in-story hour. Wait. Recovers 1d6 and 1d guts. 1d6 blood and 1d6 guts. Wait. A nap that lasts 2 real-time minutes. Oh, and 1 in-story hour. Sorry, I didn't see the story bit. I was like, wait, real-time minutes 2 and another real-time 1 hour. I was like, just say 1 hour and 2 minutes. No, I missed that. A long rest, so 5 real-time minutes in-story hours equal to at least 10 minus their lower blood and guts modifier, allows players to re-roll and replenish their max health for the next day. So 2d6 plus modifier. So that's what I'm thinking. I think it is 2d6 to maybe, I don't know. I'll go back to it in a second. I need to find out. That's bothering me a little bit. Re-rolling is done for both stats. Okay, so right, fair. If they do not wish to make the roll, the player can recover and distribute 7 points of health between blood and guts instead. Bloods and guts can go no higher than the maximum unless re-rolled during the long rest. And then we've got evolving the hero. So experience points, so the XP, represents growing adventure expertise and can be spent any time to add new capabilities. Each player gains 3 XP per real-time hour for the games within 1 to 3 sessions, 12 XP for each session for longer campaigns. And here we've got some things to spend it on. So increasing an approach score by 1 costs 3 XP to the next, costs 3 times its next XP value. So I'm guessing like if you were gonna get 3, if you were on 1 in your approach, you want to get to 2, so it'd be 2 times 3, which is 6. So you need to spend 6 XP, right? Increasing a skill rank by 1 costs times 2 the next XP value, so the same thing. So if you're at 1, you're going to go to 2. 2 times 2 is 4. And then increasing a skill rank by 1 is equal to the next skill value. Okay, so if you're already in 2, you spend 3 to get 3. Yeah, so it's going to be more expensive to go for. It's harder to get better. It costs more to get better. That's the thing. Spells and techniques. So whether during or outside conflict, heroes may perform spells and techniques impacting on the situation. Spells and techniques are obtained during hero creation, although it is possible to acquire new copies or even custom ones. Recovering spells and techniques. So using spells and techniques consumes valuable instances. Luckily, they are not lost forever. For this quick start, players replenish 1 copy of 1 spell or technique per 5 in-story hours of rest. And then the full book contains over 30 spells and techniques, and this quick start only provides a brief taste of the possibilities. I like how this stuff's in core book. I like how it's in red, and obviously here it's in bold, but I like that it goes, hey, more information, get the full book, which I'm a big fan of. Additional rules may also apply for enhanced spells and techniques, as well as a wholly unique way of replenishing through. Oh, the old-fashioned through. Look at that slang there. Rituals and guidance on how to learn even more. And it says here for the quote from Prismia Gameplay, I have peered into the past and covered the sins of our fathers. Surely you have nothing to fear. Well, that's a really cool image there. On the left, there's sort of skull on top of a hourglass with some sort of like eye symbol on top of it. So meanwhile, the Doomsday Clock keeps on advancing. When the Doomsday Clock advances, whether every half hour, or session based on the setup, another moment is consumed. Then the guide rolls for omens. What happens next is up to the adventure. When all the moments are consumed, the doom arrives. It doesn't necessarily mean game over. The full book provides intriguing options for continued play, either rewinding time, or rising from the ashes of the destroyed world. So there you go. So it's not like, and we've got 30 minutes left because everything's dead. All right, now onto the final few pages. This whole quick start, by the way, is only 19 pages. Guide toolkit. How to run a game of Ark. So the role of the guide evolves based around the players and the kind of story everyone wants to play. Regardless, there are a few simple and optional guidelines on things they can do before, during, and after a game. Okay. So before the game, Familiarise yourself with the doom, the omens, and how it reflects on the story. Think about the motivations of key non-hero characters or factions within the setting. During the game, set the scene. Describe the details necessary to empower the other players to act. This includes non-hero characters and sometimes even descriptions that evoke light, sound, atmosphere, dust, and smell of mildew. Presumably, yeah, it's the five senses. You know, like I said, like sight, smell, sound, touch, taste, all that sort of thing. Respond to hero action or inaction. The hero's deeds must have weight and consequence. I like that. Don't be afraid to ask questions and nudge the other players into a more clearly articulated response if their action is too vague. What do you do now? How will you investigate? What are you trying to accomplish? Adjust the story. After the scene, what happens to the overall story? Does the tension escalate? Do non-hero characters or factions' motivations change? You also need to decide on the spot for things such as whether the action needs a skill check. Only call for an action skill when there are stakes. Reading the runes can open a portal. And a possibility of an interesting outcome either way. Their attempt may alert the vicious wizard. Communicating is if the wizards reading that other line. Communicating if the player's chosen approach and skill does not make sense. Yeah, this combination of skills does not make sense. Whether or not to apply difficult modifiers. Suggesting or deciding on consequences or opportunities for skill checks, tied rolls, and what strange or unusual items do if, and in brackets, if it has any impact on the plot. And then finally here, adjust and create the rulings to build more fun experiences tailored to your group. Okay, I mean, straightforward, again, giving those principles of what you need to think about during the game. I like it saying, like, on-the-spot stuff. So here's some common areas that you're going to have to think about stuff. Like, yeah, you can't be like, I choose tinker and concentrated, or whatever. Concerted and what was it, like academia. And you go, okay, but what do you mean by that? Like, let's communicate it if it doesn't make sense, and then be like, okay, let's change the narrative a little bit. So I'm a big fan of that. During the game, continue. Oh, there's more rules. Keep an eye on your time. Don't forget to advance the doomsday clock and roll 1d6 per still active omen. And then last but by not least, don't stress over facilitating a perfect game. Perfect games don't exist. Guiding a welcoming game where mistakes are okay, however, is a good target to aim for. Oh, I like that. A welcoming game where mistakes are okay is a good target to aim for. I think that's just advice I'd give to anyone, really. These are just a snapshot and a wealth of advice is plentifully available, not just in the full book, but also from fellow RPG enthusiasts or even in online channels. And then after the game, congratulations! Thank the players, including yourself, for making it possible. If you didn't feel you didn't do so well, that's okay. It is still a valuable learning experience for next time. After all, building a story with others is a valuable achievement in its own right. You've completed an arc, and that's truly wonderful. And thank you for playing. Look at this beautiful artwork on this side. I'm just going to move it so we can see it. I really like it. That's the sort of artwork, again, I would like on the wall back there. It's just really, again, the colours are so beautiful. Like the sort of gold. It's not like flake, what's it? Like, yeah, it's maybe it's like gold platedness of it. It's just really gorgeous and just really evocative. I love it. Okay, whoop, there's more. There's only a couple pages left. And we've got assigning stats to non-hero characters and adversaries. I will say, we've kind of lost a little bit of the... It feels very much like a... I said, what did I say? I said like an in-house style guide earlier. It now feels more like a PowerPoint presentation, doesn't it? Like a little bit, like again, has the information on there. At least it's clearly, it's much better than some of the other academics I had to look at. Their sort of PowerPoints I had to reformat. But it's a little bit, I kind of, like there's lots of this big white space up here. Could have had a big image up here or something. To make a custom character or adversary, the guide can use on this table can use this table to assign stats based on an estimate of the character or adversary's capabilities. Note that these are only stats that has complete freedom regarding motivation, personalities, and mannerisms. A character or adversary can be weak in some aspects and strong in others. So, for example, a devious courtier could have 2 ranks in impose and a +2 to guts damage, but only have 5 blood. Spells and techniques can also be assigned too. Relevant rules are available in the full book. In general, a party of 4 new heroes can defeat up to 4 fully weak enemies. Tag yourself, I'm a fully weak enemy. Or 2 fully average enemies. Oh no, that's who I am. Within 3 or 4 turns. But we'll have a greater chance of facing stronger adversaries. We'll have a greater challenge, Defeating one powerful or monstrous creature is only possible after the party has spent considerable XP, between 18 to 21 for powerful creatures, or 30 to 36 for monstrous ones. Creatures of various power levels can team up as well. Interesting. So yeah, we've got a quick reference guide there. Is it me, or is that max different? Those 2 maxes are a little bit different. And again, you can tell that these are the headings again. That's why I'm just like, oh, interesting. And then we've got a sample scene here, so the sample sort of playthrough here. I'm not going to read it out because I tend not to read those out. But what I do like, this is a quick look up, is the who's speaking is in bold and underlined, the characters, etc. And then the actual action of what's going on is in gold. And we've got this icon here that sort of information, I'm guessing, and then the scene is like what's happening in the scene. So I quite like that as a result. And then we've got, oh, look at that cute Corrigian Noblin. Got some creatures, sample creatures. We've got Noblin Medicant Demon. Is that how you pronounce that? And then a strange elf. Oh, interesting. And then that's it. That's the end of the quick start. Okay. Interesting. I'm just going to reread. That's the one thing I've got on my mind. Is character creation. How do you roll blood and guts to set the first value? It must be, right? It must be... Wait, no, I can't roll for blood and guts. Allocate the modifiers, that's fine. And roll for... I'm going to look at... You know what? Yeah, let's cheat. We're going to cheat and we're going to go to the actual full book, because it will say here, surely. Expect the character sheet. Assign blood and gut modifiers. There we go. They can vary from day to day. So it must be 2d6 plus a modifier. It must be that, right? That must be it. So every day you wake up, because it changes, so that must be what it is. There you go. Oh, no, it's here. To randomly determine your base blood and guts modifier. Oh, no, that's the modifier. Yeah. Okay. It must be 2d6. It didn't say that here. It just sort of mentioned it here, but like to start, yeah, I feel like that should have been a bit more obvious. So roll 2d6 for your set value. I know that sounds really simple. It's like, oh, well, it's obvious, Fiona. I was like, I don't know how I would create that. All right, let's go to, what do we think? What do we think, folks? Got to the end of it. I'm actually undecided. I think what I would have liked, and I know we're going to get, there's the adventure in this, right? The summers, which I've got here, the summer blooms, which has some absolutely cracking art in it, I will say. We won't look at it because I don't want to spoil it. I personally, I think it's a good starting point. It's a quick start, right? So I think we've got the stuff to create characters straight off the bat quite easy enough. I do think, I know I'm going on about that blood and guts thing, but I think, yeah, you just have to say it's 2d6 to start, and then it's always going to be 2d6 with your modifiers. I quite like that. I think I would like to see examples of what the apocalypse is. Like, I would like some story hooks, something to get us going. Like, obviously, they've got that free adventure to go down, which is absolutely fine, but I would love to see some story hooks. Like, this is an apocalypse for a one-shot lasting 2 to 3 hours, so here are some moments that you can do. I like some random generating moments or some prompts, you know? That's what I think is missing. Because I like the idea, but then this is just the bare bones of the system. And I'm kind of like, a little bit. Like, I think this is the key thing. The moment stuff, as someone mentions in the chat, you like it feels like you could end this game very quickly with the, because you could roll like lots of 5s and lots of 6s, and then you're having to struggle for it. So I would like some more advice on how that would work, and maybe seeing the doomsday clock in actions, or a little bit more of an example. I appreciate, again, we didn't read any play examples per se. I also feel like I would like to see a bit more art, personally. It feels very much, again, it's a manual, it's an instructions thing. Oh, that's the thing I don't get. The bonds, this stuff, 6 minor levels of bond, and maybe let's have a look at it. Because I do have this, I can look at the other one. You see, and I guess obviously the full book will have it, but it would be nice to have a little bit more. Let me find it. Bonds, determine bonds. All possible levels of bonds. Ah, see, look at this. So we've got the sort of the 4 squares. And then, so each square, each quadrant, that is a minor level. And then a major level is those 4 together. Perfect. I get that. Choose. So do we... I see. So you maybe have several boxes, right? So do you have... I see. So you maybe have 3 boxes in total for each ally. So you'll have a major bond and a minor bond, perhaps, over 2 big boxes, right? I assume that you can't spread it out. So you can't be like 2, 2, and 2, right? You might have to fill it up as we go. 4 level of bond. The only way... maybe you do fill it after one another. I understood as 4 minor bonds level up to 1 major. Yes, no, so I get that. But then when you're doing character creation, choose 1 hero for whom you have 6 minor levels of bond with. Why don't you just say 1 major bond and 2 minor levels, right? Why 6 minor levels? Is it, like, are you not, because if you've got these 3 boxes, are you just spreading them out? You're like, I don't see them as a friend, So that's what I'm not understanding, perhaps. I don't know. I'm just trying to read this a little bit. Also, it's just +4. Okay, it's not adding anything to it. Interesting. Well, again, I'm not going to look too hard into it. That was the only thing. Little things like that, I'm like, I need a little bit more explanation, I think. I think it's very clean. Right, it's easily read. I think there's a couple of issues with the formatting that I was like, I would do this or that. I just wish there was a little bit more art, because then we've got these big white spaces. Yeah, it just feels like a PowerPoint presentation. Like we've got like this sort of color stuff here, like this bit here feels really like, oh yeah, design, and then it's gone, and this is the information. And I get it. You want to be giving this information quickly. It's a new game. I do feel like it would be nice to have some examples of what kind of doom it is. Some like random omens that we could put in. Like what happens at the end? It didn't even say what happened at the end, did it? It just... What happens next is up to the adventure. Presumably it's in the text, Is there an epilogue? I think, again, for 19 pages, I think it covers a lot. And I think it's a taster. It's trying to get you involved in like this. And I see it. I do see it. I just wish there was like some more examples of the system. I would love to see this. Maybe if I go and look at that play example. Yeah, stuff like here, like the tide thing for the tying on the skill check. I like that. I like the idea the threshold is being determined by your levels. And each threshold will be unique to each player character. I like that. I feel it's rather than like this nebulous number that you constantly have to reach. It's special to you, and it feels more personal. So I like that a lot. Oh, it can be spread. Oh, right. That's weird. Why does it? Why? Okay, it should say that then, possibly. Anyway, you're right. I think it should. It's just, it's another way to say major or 2 left over, 2 minor, but it can be spread. Oh, okay. Interesting. I guess what's the benefit for spreading it? Let's have a see. What did it say about the bonds? Here It was was it conflict? No, it was yeah, there we go. It was they can assist to increase it to equal to their major levels. So if you had, say, 3 major levels, you had 2 major levels with a bond with a hero, and you had the right skill. So you could upgrade the threshold level to be like a +2. So instead of a 6, it is an 8, right? Alternatively, you may sacrifice any minor levels of a bond to re-roll. I mean, so in my head, is it more beneficial to have a major bond with someone and then have 2 times to re-roll rather than having 6 times you would re-roll? To me, I think it makes more sense to always have one major, start off with a major and then having 2 re-rolls, because I feel that's more beneficial rather than like, yeah, I'll re-roll. That's the only thing. There's a footnote about something. Something about an inconvenience. I didn't quite get it. Yeah, who knows? Thank you for checking. I appreciate it. So yeah, I guess overall, I'm curious about it. Like, it looks like the artwork is really intriguing, except none of it is obviously in this. It feels very clean, so it's easy to read. I feel it's just a little bit. I feel like, I don't know. You know what? I can't fault it because I think you can read it through. I just think it's missing a little bits of information. Simple things, but I look for that because that's the thing I know I would ask as a player. And yeah, I think the only sort of big downside, I guess, for me is that there isn't that sort of table of random stuff. Like the fact that we've got creatures here. We've got the sample creatures. I'm just reading them through now. Let's see. Let's look at Noblin. Let's all look at Noblin, everyone. Looks and traits: very shy, powered by curiosity and engineering. Oh. Relations: relatively good friends with their 99 cousins. Considers everyone else a bit weird. Incredible. That tag yourself. And then you've got their stuff here. Inventory, knickknacks, etc. Okay. So even then, not. I mean, you get 3 sample creatures, but no doom and no omens. Yeah, I kind of don't know what to make of it. Again, would I play this? Would I run this for where? And the answer is, I don't know. Like, I've got the full book, so I can absolutely look at it, but I don't feel like motivated to do so. Again, I will say, there is the free adventure, the summer blooms, so maybe that is something as well. But yeah, I think what I would do, and to be fair, let's talk about, like, thinking of it, we step back a little bit. They had a really good website, they had really good resources and stuff like that, and there's a couple of actual plays as well. So actually, there's stuff out there to show how this works. So I think that's going to absolutely have to work in its favour for this. I feel like this document is maybe a little bit weak on that side. But overall, like, I can't fault it for stuff. Again, I think all I would like is if it's a few more images, maybe even some line drawings or something to fill out those white spaces, because it drives me a bit bonkers that. I don't know about the horizontal layout, the landscape layout personally. I don't know. I'm undecided, I think. But like I said, there's some takeaway lessons that we can take away from it for sure about, like, how to style yourself, how to style the RPG, and to put the resources around it, have the press kit. I think that's, that absolutely works in its favour. It made me want to look at it, so there you go. I think it's in a weird spot where there's no big lore or pre-made setting, but it also isn't generic enough. I think that's a very fair comment. I think presumably in the full book, I go and have a look at it. Setting up the apocalypse, so that's all rules. Sample hero creation, sample conflict, sample doom, more sample heroes. Get a lot more stuff for it. Oh, but yeah, you're right. It doesn't seem to be like well, let's have a quick look. Let's look at a sample doom. Oh, but it's just a playthrough. Oh, it's not. Oh, I see. It's just a playthrough. It's not like a. Oh, that is a shame. I would assume that you would have this in the main book. Again, but again, the sort of flip side is that it has a creator's license, so you could make your own, and there's probably quite a few people out there who've created settings and adventures for it. So yeah, again, it's that sort of thing where I'm like, oh, but I need this. I need to go look for it. Each to their own, I guess. But yeah. Well, there you go, friends. That was Arc. This quick start. If you found it interesting, I'm not gonna, go check it out. I would read around it and maybe watch an actual play or two. That's what I would do. I think if I was going to carry on for this, I was like, you know what, I really want to find out more about it. I'd go, that's the itch site for it, but the actual website does have has a lot of links to the actual plays as well. Thank you guys so much for watching this, possibly a very odd end before Christmas. I'm like, ugh. Very much appreciated. If you've enjoyed this, you might want to check out my main show. It's What Am I Rolling, which is a twice monthly tabletop RPG one-shot podcast where we do lots of different actual plays, mostly aimed at like teaching or learning about new systems, because that's the thing I really like. I like learning about new systems. I like create stories with other people. And we've also got interviews with game designers on there as well. We've got hopefully another interview going out on Sundays, twice weekly. I'm hoping we can have something out for Christmas Day as well. I try to put something out Christmas Day and New Year's Day. We'll see, because I like doing that, because I always feel like, you know, regardless of whether you celebrate, whether you know you're surrounded by friends and family, or whether you're celebrating by yourself, I like being able to put something out, so it's something that people can look forward to. Oh, well, happy holidays, my personal doomsday clock. Bing bong. Merry Christmas, and happy to see you back at it. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I was saying that because of November, December being very busy, hopefully I can get back to it. There won't be one on Tuesday next week at one of these streams, but hopefully Boxing Day will be back, and I've already done my ones for January. So thank you so much. Happy holidays back to you, my friend. What else was I going to say? If you're like Fiona, this was fun and good for you. But what other like D&D content do you do? Ugh. I also do the DM's Book Club, which is a weekly book club podcast where we talk about some Dungeons & Dragons and see how we can improve it for any game. Look, we all start somewhere. We read the books so you don't have to. And there's a lot of interesting lore and stories that have come through Wizards of the Coast and D&D specifically. And we like looking at it, myself and my co-host Hamilton, and we like unpicking it and be like, oh, that's really cool, but what else? We are by no means experts. We a lot of time poke fun at it, and we often talk about like we want other people to play games. We actually talk about a lot of other games on that channel as well, so go check it out. Happy holidays, Fiona. Oh, happy holidays, Hogan. Hope you're having a good one too, my friend. That is that. The final thing I'm going to plug at the end of this, because it will be remiss of me not to do so, but if you enjoy folk horror, and if you've enjoyed the actual plays that I've run, specifically horror related actual plays, I cannot like leave the stream without promoting something that's come out today, which I have been a part of. We did it earlier this year. It is the Realms Pod Christmas Special Solemn Veil of Oak and Holly. Last year I did a actual play on Actual Play UK called Solemn Veil, and it is a wonderful setting by Dirty Vortex using the weird abacus system. And I think I have done a Too Long Didn't Read on this a long time ago. It was a game that the system itself is really straightforward, but the setting really opened my mind to like what a good folk horror is. And I ran that game and I really enjoyed it. We had a really good time, and I got asked to go onto Realms and to do their Christmas special, and it is now happening. It's out today, Solemn Veil, Oak and Holly, episode 1, and there's 6 episodes, and they're coming out each day over Christmas. And I hope people enjoy it. Let me find the link to it, because obviously I prep this? No, I didn't. I didn't think I was going to talk about it, but it is one of my. It is a show that I love. I really enjoy Realms. I think they're incredible. Folks, they work really hard on not only getting the actual play and getting the story together, but the sound design and editing. We have special music for Solemn Veil. It makes me so happy. It's one of those things where I'm excited, but also incredibly nervous for it to be out. And I just hope that people will enjoy it and they don't think too badly of me, because when I say I like horror, I really like horror. And sorry, I'll tell you. Earlier this year, I moved countries, and I'd been running a horror sort of D&D campaign for over like a year and a half. It was just Curse of Strahd, nothing too exciting. And after I moved, I had one of the players message me a very long WhatsApp saying that they didn't want to play anymore because they didn't like it. They said they didn't enjoy my style of GMing, and that horror was not for them. And whilst they were being very nice about like, oh, they found it too much, I took it really badly. I think it actually ended that friendship. Because I pride myself on being a horror DM and a person who works really hard making sure that people are safe at the table. And it was one of those things where we'd had 30 sessions of this particular campaign, and it had clearly been too much. And so I lost my confidence for a long bit. And now that we have this horror campaign that I am bringing out with Realms, it is quite scary. But I hope people enjoy it, and I highly recommend it. Like, all the cast were brilliant. They got the brief, and I just hope people don't go, what is she on about? It's one of the most. It's been the absolute highlight of my year. So there you go. That is the link to the site in the chat. Somerville of Hoke and Ollie. Please go check it out. The first episode is out now. And yeah, and also go check out Somerville. It's one of my favorite RPG games that came out last year, but the physical copy came out this year. All right, friends, I'm going to love you and leave you. Happy holidays. I hope whatever happens in the next couple of days, you're safe, you're happy, you're surrounded by the people you love, and hopefully you get to play a couple of games as well. I'll be back next Thursday. What we're doing next Thursday for our Too Long Didn't Reads, I set them all up. Let's see. We're doing, Masks of the Masks next time. It is a GM-less Powered by the Apocalypse game that explores how violence affects the lives of supposed heroes. It is a comic book that pairs imagery and scenes with game mechanics and prose. It's a set of tools for crafting a mystery that only ends in doom. Exciting, there you go. So that was the random thing I pulled the other night. And so yeah, come and check that out. Thanks for the stream and happy holidays. Oh, thanks, folks. Thanks, folks. Oh, I really appreciate it. So we're going to do that on the 26th of December, 11 a.m. Central Time, 5 p.m. BST, GMT. Your local time zones will apply. And, that's the cat asking for food. So we're going to go sort them out. Much love, my friends. Keep safe, and we'll see you next week. Bye!